Welcome to Shorty SuperCoach. How's it going, guys? We're going to take a look at the Rucks today. Doing my top 6 Rucks. I've done that for each and every line, so if you want to see which premiums I'm backing in, feel free to take a look at those. But yeah, the Rucks, it's not overly exciting. I'm not going to lie. It's pretty clear cut. It looks like most people are going to roll with Gawn and Grundy. So again, this cookie cutter teams that we produce in SuperCoach Classic, I don't know. I had a few ideas about it late last year, but I just hope it's not another one of those seasons where we just have so many players the same, but it probably will be. But anyway, this year's probably not the year to get too hung up on that because we've got the buys, round 0, it's shaking it up a bit, but yeah, don't get me started on the changes that we could make to this game to make it even better. But 11 days, so we'll go live on Wednesday, I reckon. Certainly some stage midweek. We'll have some league code reveals, both in the live and also just actual videos, but stay tuned for that. I want to take a look at each line as well and go through every player that's got at least 3% ownership. So sort of go through all the pretty much relevant players and just give my 2 cents worth. But otherwise, yeah, that'll probably be about it before the first bounce. We'll have some team updates. I'll tell you what, Sam Berry, I reckon I put him in my Adelaide preview at the start of the year, and he had 22 touches, heaps of tackles, back to his old days. He's at 220k or something, worth a shot. Elijah Sardis looked all right, rolling around at the Cattery when I went and had a look. And who else was? Huswaite was looking all right. Trying to think a few other players that sort of caught my eye, but yeah, anyway, there's a few players starting to bob up. Even like you would never pick him, but Carl Amon. I just wonder, could he just be a sneaky little option for your draft and eventually be a defensive options? Because he, a bit like Caleb Daniel all those years ago, he finished the year on fire last year as a halfback flanker and again looked really good tonight. So food for thought. But my number one ruck for the year, you won't find them because I was in the midfield just then, but it's Max Gawn. So look at it, 57% of sides. Grundy goes. That naturally makes him the number one guy, and he loves being the number one guy. And when he was last year, he still showed that he had it. He even scored a 215. And he is a bit unders, not only because of the impact of Grundy on his scoring, but he did have a 0 in there where he got injured. So he's actually one of those weird combos where he's really got a bit of value to him, and he should be the number one ruck for under 600k. So we love to see that. In at number 2, I'm still going to put Tim English. Now, this isn't meaning that I would start Gawn and English because I'm starting Grundy and Gawn, but this is just a purely average, top 6 averages. So, obviously, I think English and Grundy are, more or less the same. I think they'll both be around that 115. I can't see English doing the numbers he did last year, but you never know. But obviously, you go Grundy because of the value. So, I don't know why I feel like English drops off a little bit. He's had a bit of an interrupted pre-season. Averaging 128 is a pretty high bar to continue at. So whether he drops back down to 120 or 115, I don't know. But I think Grundy will be there and abouts in terms of averaging around Tim English. But I just put him at number 3 because I do think English will out-average him. But when you've got 230k between them, you're clearly going to go Grundy. So that'd be my top 3 rucks, and I think most people would be relatively similar in that way of thinking. So let's remove them. And then the 4th is pretty clear. I mean, Marshall, not much love for Rowan, but he's a gun. He could certainly average around 115 again. I think he'll probably be around that 110 mark. But yeah, awesome display last year. Helped me out and a lot of others a stack. So certainly a great option. Again, he doesn't really find himself in too many sides, but I think he'll be, again, a pretty quality score for us out there. So in at number 5, it starts to become a little bit tough. I mean, I think they're the clear top 4 guys. I think Briggs, Witts, Darcy all have to be considered. Jackson, I'm sort of counting in the forward category. Cameron, not so much. I think Soldo and Cherry, I think they'll be solid, but yeah, not really guys for the top 6. Cherry offers a fair bit of value, but yeah, probably. Oh, geez, it's a tough one. I mean, I'd probably these 3: Briggs, Witts, and Darcy. I mean, what's the impact on Darcy and Jackson? Does Jackson impact Darcy, or is it vice versa? I don't even know. But I'm hesitant to put him in at number 5. Witts just does his thing. all time. Like, he's consistent as ever, but how long can he keep this going? He's getting older, and Briggs, I think he's the pick of the bunch, but he's only done it for the 1 year. Look, I will back in Kieran because I think, he had a great year last year and looks to be, again, the number one guy. So, I mean, certainly wouldn't pick him, but thinks he deserves to be in the top 6 rucks. And I'm going to go Witts just on his pure consistency. I think Darcy's got that capability to average more than both Briggs and Witts, but I just don't know how Jackson will work in. I feel like it'll be very much 50-50 at times, and I just don't know how it's going to work for either of them. But, Witts just has to get that tick for consistency, really solid. But, Darcy, could have some of those huge scores. Like, he can score 170, 180 when he really wants to and get going. But I don't know. How is that combination going to work? It didn't work for Gawn and Grundy. Darcy and Jackson, I don't know. Not too sure. Might work for the team. Whether it works for the SuperCoach scores, we'll have to wait and see. But bit of a shorter and sharper video today, so that's all we got for the Rucks. But been enjoying this pre-season. Certainly took me a little bit to build into it, but very, very keen for footy to be back. Next Thursday, which is crazy, and it's been great to just have it to be flicking on to KO at the moment. It's good to see some pracky games. Gives us a bit more to work with. So stay tuned for some videos throughout the week, and hopefully you can join me for the live. I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.